coming up in September for Ethereum, obviously number 2 out there. Do you see any type of catalyst between now and, let's say, I'm not a short-term guy, maybe in the end of 2023 or so, that could be that catalyst to get Ethereum, Bitcoin, and the broader market to really get the next leg higher?
Well, first of all, the merge has been forecasted to occur for 4 years in a row now. So for all the excitement, I'll believe it when I see it. There's a lot of people that are dissuaded from doing this in the Ethereum mining business, so they're not that excited about it. So you've got an inconsistent harmony occurring. And now anything could happen, but really at the end of the day, ETH it's slow and it's expensive, and so if it doesn't fix itself, it's going to have lots and lots of competition, and so everybody has an opinion on this, and I think the market is being the market. I have a pretty big ETH position as well. I'm going to wait and see what happens because it has attracted more applications, more usage than anything else to date. But that doesn't mean it's fixed in stone. Anything could happen. And so I also think that there's other applications from HBAR to Solana, Polygon, all kinds of different ideas in terms of how this should happen and how financial services work and the cost, the speed, the fees, the transparency, auditability, security, all of these things. And I tell people, look, if you want exposure, have at least 7 or 8 positions on these projects because you just don't know. You can do it by order of market capitalization. That's easy to find out. But that doesn't mean you're right at doing that either. So diversification on this very nascent system, and whether, where it all fits. And when people tell you, well, I know with certainty this particular level 2 is going to really work, they have no idea. It's the adoption by users of apps and applications on top of it and payment systems and transparency and all the rest I mentioned that will eventually determine whether that platform is profitable or it isn't. At the end of the day, if it never makes any money, it's going to zero like every other business. And many will go to zero. And that too is okay.
So real quick before you answer, Ben, Kevin, real quick, you said many of these will go to zero. So do you picture this, let's say at the end of the decade, 2030, going from how many thousands of coins now to something in a ballpark of 300 or 400 that, a lot of these small ones will go by the wayside? Or is it something that this will continue to grow in the small micro cap, if you want to compare it to the stock market, will hang around?
I think there'll always be, opportunistic token creation and trying to define it, whether you're playing a game or whether you're using it to buy something in the metaverse. There's so many different use cases being tabled. But in the end, when you look at most markets, what you find is it's the adoption of standardization that creates value. So if all of a sudden there's 10 stable coins that come to market for payment systems, my prediction would be that there'll only be 3 survivors 10 years later. And they'll be behemoths, they'll be very large, and they may have slightly different attributes. But, there's already 64 billion in Tether and 54 billion in USDC. They're likely to survive, assuming they can survive audit, and then maybe a few others. And always the rumor of the feds themselves creating their own digital dollar. I'm very skeptical of that. The last place you want development work done is with the government. They're the worst at it. So I'd let the private sector figure that out and just the government provide regulation. But, everybody's speculating on this stuff. The one constant that I would remind everybody to think about in why the use case for investing in this sector, and I personally believe over the next decade, crypto will be the 12th sector of the S&P. And the reason I believe that is when I teach graduating cohorts of engineers, I don't care what college you do it at. You can go to MIT, Harvard, you can go to Waterloo in Canada, or Temple, Notre Dame, you name it. A third of the graduating class, the smartest hands above keyboards in the world, because some of these classes are 130 international, particularly MIT. They have no interest in, as engineers, to go back to the other 11 sectors of the economy. Zero interest in working there. They all want to work on the blockchain. So my argument is you can't take that much intellectual capital, the best and the brightest, put them onto this sector by the tens of thousands every week and not expect incredible outcomes. So it's just like at the beginning of the internet, and all of a sudden when people thought, oh, the internet's not going to be anything, look at it today. It's the backbone of every economy. The same thing I think will happen in crypto just by the amount of intellectual talent. So it seems pretty stupid to me to invite international students from geographies that are very advanced in crypto and then kick them out of the country after they're educated. It's very stupid, and that policy should be fixed. Even the brightest, look at it, Sam Bankman-Fried. I mean, a 30-year-old, 22 billionaire. He is an American citizen whose parents are compliance lawyers at Stanford. And even he doesn't operate in the United States because he has no policy and regulation and backbone to work with. So all of that money and that intellectual capital that he is gathering on the Caribbean islands should be stateside, but it's not. So we have to get some policy into this sector, or we'll continue to lose the country's brain trust in this nascent sector.
That's it for today, guys. If you found this video useful, then don't forget to like the video and share this knowledge with your friends and family. And don't forget to check out the full video, link is in the description. Thank you.